So this is how they would basically describe the Paraman. It's a particle of consciousness. So everything made of consciousness. Some people say that they experience God, yeah, oneness. So there is basically, that's a particle of oneness. So that's why it's glowing, and sometimes people see this glow, like Swami Shivananda, when he experienced some Maha Samadhi, not when he died from physical body, but he experienced enlightenment. So he described, I read it in Yoga magazine, how he was sitting and suddenly everything became sheer, kind of like could see through and glowing with light. And he realized that everything is made of light. So it's just, yeah, I mean, there are particles, of course, spinning, but he started seeing that because he went kind of on a different level of consciousness. He became like high vibration of consciousness, yeah, and so he merged with that, and he started seeing in different perspective the same stuff. So that's why everything, some things they say, yes, we see this energy, divine energy, it's glowing light. So that is consciousness, and that's what everything is made from. And I thought, okay, how do I understand that, maybe from the scientific point of view, whatever we know from science. Science knows, of course, this much, yeah? But if we don't know something beyond what science knows, scientists say it doesn't exist, we can't prove it, right? But, we all know if science cannot explain, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So that's why you dig in different scriptures and you try to understand. So if we look into the depth of our, for example, brain, and we look at this grid, how the neurons are basically located in our brain, because that's where we process information. So this book, you can find it in the boutique. This was interesting. Actually, Hank told me, National Geographic, it was 2005 or 2000, yeah. 2014. It was a National Geographic magazine, and it was an article called Secrets of the Brain. So what is here? As you see, grid pattern. It's a grid pattern. So this guy, he's a neuroscientist in Boston, from Holland. He said he used the electronic microscope. And first, when you look at the brain, you see all their basic neurons like a mess, just like so much there. Then he would zoom in, and he zoomed in so far into the structure. He saw amazing picture. He said, my God, I don't understand why this is this way. Under 90 degrees. All the neurons are intersecting like in the brain under 90 degrees. He said it's like a ladder. And I said, oh my God, he basically saw this mandala, this pattern, grid pattern. Even our neurons are, basically representing that pattern. Later, I started doing experiments with sound, clanging patterns. Yeah? Also, you will see that. So sound and light. So I started connecting a lot of points. And as I said, I can't just give everything in this class. But so he said in this his magazine, he basically, Van Wieden said, as he increases the magnification, something astonishing takes shape. In spite of the dizzying complexity of the circuits, they all intersect at right angles, like the lines of the sheet of the graph paper. Whedon, scientist, is more convinced than ever that the pattern is meaningful. Wherever he looks in the brains of humans, monkeys, rats, he finds grid. So, interestingly enough, in ancient times, they call it Vaastu Mandala, that grid pattern. So Vaastu is pure energy, it's divine energy. Purusha is actually a life substance. It's not just some kind of grid exists and that's it. It's just a life. It's basically a life consciousness, and it has a grid pattern. And so Vaastu is this consciousness, Purusha, a life, it's a life being, and Mandala is design. It's a design, basically. So mandala is this grid pattern. So everything is made from these grid patterns. And every grid pattern has its own meaning. And there are like 2 by 2, 3 by 3 grid pattern, 8 by 8, 9 by 9. So In buildings, we use 9 by 9, we call Paramasayka mandala. So for living creatures like us, in ancient scriptures, they would say we need to use this 9 by 9. So what is 9 by 9? It means I have a building, I divide each side of the building into 9 equal parts, and this side, and so I create a grid. The question is, what is the dimensions of the building? How do I know what is the right dimension, what is not, right? It's a big question. I will calculate that. So I know, for example, a family is supposed to live in this building. So what I asked people, I said, when you were born, where you were born, and time. So what does it give me? It gives me, actually, in astrology, they call it birth star, nakshatra. So, but basically, in simple words, I can find your vibration, your subtle vibration, this light, which is vibrating in you, I can calculate that. So I find you this nakshatra, your birth star, basically that energy was coming from the space at the moment of your birth. Your mother gave you birth, specific spot on the planet Earth. So they would look what was there during that time. So it was like a ray of energies coming from the space into the Earth, and basically it hit you because you're energy being. So it hit you with that energy and set up a specific vibration of your own being. That's why we can calculate energies of people. So by knowing that your energy, that's all numbers, I can actually calculate the dimensions of the building. So how do I do that? So I found your vibration, type of vibration. Then I take a sacred dimension, which is magnified many, many times Paramanu itself, because it has actually a dimension. This Paramanu consciousness has a dimension. So, but such a microscopic, I can't use it in construction, right? So we have to multiply it in geometric progression several times. And then we come to the angula. Angula is the right hand, middle finger. I'm not flipping it, okay? Now I know why this is actually insult. How do I know this is not insult? This is insult. Because this is actually, this finger is divine and used in ancient scriptures. This dimension was used in construction. It's considered this is the most sacred dimension. And if you measure, you will see it's in actually golden ratio to your body. Because your body is grown by your inner energy, consciousness. So it emits energy all the time and builds up step by step from embryo, your human body. So the body appeared, yes, there is a, basically the egg, the sperm, and then it combines together all these minerals and stuff. Actual explosion, this mini Big Bang happens. It happens and the divine energy gets into that and it starts vibrating. And vibrate with the consciousness of the divine. So the body of the baby has a different vibration while you're in the mother's womb. And so it's like an angel, let's say, yeah? So, and it has frequencies of 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fast, right? So what is the interval of time I'm using? Apparently it's equivalent of the blinking of human eye. So we blink with the same frequency as universe is vibrating. How interesting. So we actually have functions of the universe embedded in our organs, vibration, periodicity of females, generating eggs and stuff, also connected to the moon. So we are actually a mini cosmos. So our energy is not random. So we're connected to specific energies. So I need to find energy which will give you boost. So I found your energy, I found your spouse or your friend energy. It's a family, yeah? So I said, okay, well, there are two energies, I need to make sure that they would resonate. In ancient times, they would not allow in India marriages like that, yeah? And they would go to astrologer, you say, okay, your energy is this, your energy is that. It's not going to work. I'm like, oh, why? He would say, yeah, because you don't resonate. And so you cannot, so they will just, yeah, of course you can go marry, that's what we do, and then we divorce. So, and then we divorce again. But it's interesting that if you would think about this, if we would have this knowledge, I think we would be definitely more wise and we would understand why we resonate, with some people, right? You feel like, wow, it doesn't have to be a spouse, just like a friend. Wow, I felt like something. I don't even know this person, but I feel connection, right? Because we resonate. Our energies have frequencies which are actually creating resonance. So resonance is, I don't know, I'm not going to into acoustics, but basically resonance, there is a dissonance and resonance. So dissonance is when your energy is not moving in unison, it actually goes and dims it, so it goes to zero. That's why you feel uncomfortable. Some people drain you because they don't resonate. And some people charge you because you resonate with them. And so the goal of this was to find for couples resonating energy. So I'm resonating with him, I'm not resonating with this guy. So whatever I do, like first emotions, love and all that, it goes away after some time, or emotional stuff, yeah, you just have a regular life. And if it's difficult, you cannot resonate. It's not going to work in the long term. So that was very important. It's a science. And so all these patterns of energy, they are embedded here in the building and in people. And so we need to make sure that the building will resonate with you, not only with you, with the planet Earth and with the cosmos. Because they have formulas how to calculate that. For construction, we use 6 formulas of their residential buildings. For construction of temples, 16 formulas. It's more precise. Because in temples, they have like for example, Shiva temple. Yeah, Shiva is this dancer of the universe, or this is the basically a constant explosion of divine consciousness, and that's why it's a dance. So it's a dance because it's Shiva is emitting energy of the cosmos, and so Shiva has its own vibration. So divine consciousness emits energy with absolute vibration, and then it slows down and takes different forms. So that's why there are multiplicity of gods. They came from one source, but they have their own purpose. So Durga is destroying all negative. Ganesha removes all these obstacles from you because they have their own vibrancy. So they came from one source as we are, but they have their own job to do. That's why they have a different frequency. So then temple supposed to have that frequency which will resonate with that deity, with that energy. Okay, it's a Ganesha temple where there are smaller temples, smaller shrines are usually around like Shiva. There is a Ganesha there, there is Nandi bull, which is basically a vehicle of Shiva. So everything is calculated. So when you go into this temple, you feel that energy. And they don't let you in the shrine because you came from outside, you eat, meat, whatever, because it doesn't make your body light and the vibration. That's why in the yoga center they're very careful about what we eat here, because it would bring your vibration down or it can bring your vibration up. So that's why the sattvic food is important, because it helps you to physically to bring yourself higher into the higher consciousness, what you eat and what you think. It teaches you also how the negative thoughts will destroy us, basically. So there is a whole science there. And so this science is implemented in the architecture, because architecture is not separated from the space. It's in the space. The space is divine with its own structure. So every building is divine by itself, because it has a space. The space is divine. The space, even vacuum. Scientists now know that, for example, 90% or 98.2%, I think. So they can't find the weight of the universe. So all their objects, constellations, stars, clusters of stars, they calculated, there's only 2%. Where's the rest of weight of the universe? And Ganapati used to laugh. He said, Madam, no. That is the consciousness which is not seen by the telescope, but it has weight. It's the light energy. We call it light energy, Vaastu Mandala. The big structure of the space is called Vishwa Purusha Mandala. Vishwa is big. Vastu's basically it's in the building, it's small. So the whole big structure is everywhere. So we have to merge with that structure, with our small structures. Then we will be resonating. Then we will be with nature, because the trees are not growing just randomly also. The slopes are not random. Why slopes are like this? Because it's a bulging energy from the core of the earth is coming. Earth is alive as well. So that energy is coming up, and the energy from the cosmos, it's good to have the skylight because it gives them pure energy. So the energy comes from above, from the earth, and when they basically resonate and they are in balance, it creates a profile or landscape of the earth. That's why mountains are so powerful, because there's so much energy is coming out from the core of the planet. That's why people feel like, oh, I'm like a bird, I can fly here, it's just like amazing. That's why in the swamps they would not allow you to build, because the swamp is so low. You don't want to build in the swamp, because that's a very low stagnant energy. It's good for the earth because there are lotus flowers are blooming and coming from there, but it's not for you to live in the swamp. You need to have a peaceful energy, basically, in order to do what you want to do in your life. So how building can help you? Because we calculate this building according to your vibration, so it will resonate with you. We calculate with the vibration of the cosmos, because this dimension came not randomly, and it's not yours, it's there's divine dimension, slightly different than yours. So we're using that dimension multiplied several times. It's not inches, it's not centimeters, it's called angula. So, and we use this angula, we calculate the building, because that's basically acoustics, if you want to say that way, acoustics of divine energy. And so when we know all these dimensions, because there are rules, and there are proportions described in the scriptures, how we're supposed to, what proportion is supposed to be, what proportion is not going to work. If building is too long, it's not going to work. I grew up in a building which was so long, like a train, apartment building. We would have like 10 entrances into the building, a 9-story building, for example. Yeah, so it's such a long, skinny space, and you feel like an ant in this ant house. And actually, it limits you with your possibilities, because you live in a small, tiny space which is not built according to the energy of the cosmos. You're so far away from the planet Earth, you're like 12, 15, 20th floor, like in New York City. You are disconnected from the energy of the Earth. You need to be connected. That's why they would not recommend to build houses on more than like 5 stories, because you're too far from the energy of the planet. So ideally, of course, to be closer to the Earth and to live in a building which is aligned with the grid pattern of the planet, which is meridians and parallels, but it will have a slight shift, just small slight shift, 1 degree. So that's why I could see immediately what is going on with the building. So that's a stream of consciousness, and the universe is spinning. As I said, everything is spinning. That's how you could visualize the grid. So the grid of the cosmos is going through. The Earth has its own grid of energy, and they actually resonate. That's why Earth is moving according to its own trajectory. It just has its own rotation cycle. Everything is synchronized. Everything, because that space is moving. It's vibrating. It's breathing, basically. What Swamiji teaches you how to do pranayama. So the pranayama is not just inhalation of air, yeah? You're inhaling this divine energy into your body. So if you inhale randomly, like this, yeah, and you close your nose like this, it's not going to work. You're going to distort the vibration of the space. You have to do it on counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and you hold. And then 8, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number. And then you exhale. Again, 4, 8, 16. Why? Because it's absolute vibration of consciousness. Consciousness vibrates in sequences of 8. It's called absolute vibration. That's why everywhere you look in Ayurveda, the recipes is 1 to 2 proportions of solutions they make. Everything has specific ratios, because the universe has its own vibration. So we have to work with the universe where we live. Yeah, we cannot just randomly do things, because we just basically, vibration is not going to be like a vibrancy. It's going to be like we're just going to lose it. And so we need to live in a vibrant space. And vibrant space can be only vibrant if it's resonating with the cosmos. Otherwise, it's not going to work. That's why building is important, because if it's not resonating with everything around, it just will be actually taking your own energy. Because you're a live being, you have your own vibration, you're a living organism, and you emit energy. So if you emit life energy, building something, you need energy. I'm dying here because it put me in the wrong direction, and I cannot live like this. That's why there is a. And then even in Russia, they would have like a домовой, they call it домовой. So it's like an energy which lives in a house. Vaastu Purusha, give a name to Vaastu Purusha. You can give a name to your house based on the vibration. I can even calculate for you the frequency of vibration in your house and what the sound it is. And that's, I will say, okay, the first syllable of the name of the house will be this. Because all these frequencies are described in ancient scriptures. They have the musical notes. So it's all musical notes, and you can resonate with the entire universe. So now coming to the structure of the building of itself, yeah? So directions, as I said, they have their own energy. It's not just some random direction, go this way and everything will be okay. So northeast, that direction brings peacefulness and like water, because we're 80% of water when we're born, 95% of water when we lose water, we're 75% of water. So we have a lot of water in us, physical water. So there is also metaphysical water. So metaphysical water has a higher vibration, but then it becomes a real water when it slows down. So the direction of watery energy is northeast. So that's why when we have a building already, I know northeast is your water. It's like very peaceful place, so you could put your office there. You could just do some mental work. So the central space is called Brahmapada. That's most important. Brahmapada, I should say, first we start with Brahmapada. Brahma created, Pada is just a place of creation. It's the central part of the building, that's heart of the building. Yeah. So I make sure that there's nothing there, no staircases, no bathrooms, no laundry, no kitchen. It's open space like this here. So that is important. So because the grid for human beings of the construction is 9 by 9. So 9 squares by 9 squares, or rectangle, because you could do like different ratios. They also described. Well, let's say we will do the square. So the space inside is 3 by 3. That's called Brahma Stan. Brahma Stan. So creation of divine, and it's empty. You can sit there, of course. You cannot sleep because it's too much energy there, but you can entertain your guests, you can put a rug, you could do whatever, kids can play and things like that. So the central space is the heart, so it's empty. Then fire, the fiery energy, it's like it slows down actually, because the space has a higher frequency than fire. That's basically this divine impurity. So then the fire comes, it slows down. So the energy of fire, it gives us ability to digest food. We have this fire inside of us. And when we cook, physical fire comes from this divine fire. So that's why it's best southeast direction. That's where we place kitchen, because it's a natural space of fire. So I put kitchen there. If I put a kitchen northeast where water is supposed to be, it's not good because I'm violating the law of nature. So I'm putting fire where the fire is at the kitchen. Then air, it's a movement. In ancient times, they didn't have refrigerators. They would keep grains in the northwest corner because by nature, it's more kind of moving energy there, so they would not mold the grains. So I would joke and I say, if your guests are staying too long, you can put them in the northwest, they will leave. Because the wind it's a wind. So energy people cannot stay longer. That's why here, elderly people can stay, live there, and young people, children. So the couple who is owning this building, for example, it's not recommended for them to live in the northwest corner because they will be always moving. Here, there, just like constantly business trips and like no peace. So if you want to have peace at home, you will be sleeping at southwest corner because that's earth. That's a very kind of slow vibration. It's manifestation of invisible into visible. Earth gives energy to everything. It grows everything. So if we sleep in the earth zone, southwest, we have peace. We can sleep actually deeply. So we're not like in the fire zone, because then you cannot sleep well, we're in fire. People argue a lot if they sleep in a fire zone because that's cosmos and space with its own intrinsic energy. And so if I don't know about it, I'm doing whatever, then I'm hurting myself because I don't know the rules, simple rules. So in ancient times, that's how they were just doing in the simple house.